So for most people, when trauma is caused by circumstance, sickness, death of a loved one, things you can't control, right? You know what people do? They have asaf. They have a great deal of sadness that transforms into rage, and usually that rage is then directed towards Allah. In that kind of situation, the people of weak faith, they look at that situation and then they turn their rage towards Allah. And they say, why did Allah let this happen to me? Why is Allah doing this to me? Why I deserve better? How could He do that? How could He call Himself merciful and loving and caring? And He could do this to me. You know, this is a very common phenomenon nowadays. This third type of sadness. That people suffer and then they blame Allah. People have bad experiences and then they blame Allah. You know, the only people who can do that are people who don't know who Allah is. You had a long distance relationship with Allah and you made a lot of assumptions about Him. And I've come to learn that about relationships in general, not just with Allah. When you have a friend that you talk to every day, you're on the same page. When you don't talk to them for 3, 4, 5 months, then you start making assumptions about how they think. Or what they think of you. It just happens. When you have a distant relationship, you have a lot more misunderstanding. And when they even if they call you once in a while, you misinterpret what they say. Why? Because you're not in constant contact. You're not constantly speaking with someone, there's more and more misunderstandings. When we're not in constant communication with Allah, we start developing really, really weird opinions about Allah. Really weak opinions about Allah and what He means to us and how much He cares about us. And then we fulfill what Allah says. أَنَا عِنْدَ ظَنِّ عَبْدِي بِي. Allah in a hadith Qudsi, I am as my slave assumes me to be. If he assumes that I don't care, then I'll fulfill it. If he assumes that I love, I'll fulfill that. If he assumes that I will provide, then I'll provide. You give an attitude to Allah, Allah will reciprocate that attitude. So your life will get worse if you have a bad opinion of Allah. And you brought that on yourself. Because Allah says, I will give you based on your attitude towards me. Your attitude will determine who I am to you. You know, who is Allah to me depends on me. Because of that promise of the hadith. The word, now finally, the remedies themselves. I've talked about the different kinds of sadness, and this is under my last section, I promise. I'm in that last section. And I want to start this section with one of Allah's most beautiful names, Ar-Rahman. Ar-Rahman comes from the Arabic word Rahma, commonly translated as mercy. I don't agree with that translation, much at all. It's actually problematic on many fronts. One of the fronts it's problematic on is mercy is used when you're spared. Like the soldiers showed him mercy. What does that mean? They didn't kill him. When you're playing a game of tag, you ever play the game Mercy even? When does somebody say mercy? Spare me. When the wrestler is holding the guy up in the air, and the guy looks down and he knocks on his head and goes, hey, mercy. What's he asking for? To be spared. Mercy is used in context where something bad is about to happen, and then it stops from happening. Thanks for showing me mercy. Sparing someone. So when we think of Allah as merciful, at least in the English language, right? Merciful, we cannot have that connotation. We cannot think, oh, bad things were going to happen, Allah decided not to punish us. No. Actually, the word rahmah in Arabic comes from rahm. And rahm means the belly of the mother when she's pregnant. The womb of the mother. And the rahm is actually, in a hadith, the rahm is tied to rahmah. That Allah says the way you will understand what rahmah is that you will reflect upon what the womb of the mother is. That will give you some idea what rahmah is. And then you might begin to understand what who ar-Rahman is. Who Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, that ar-Rahman that we call on, who that is. The rahm of the mother, the womb of the mother, all of us were in it at one point in our existence. Did we have to worry about food, shelter, clothing? Were all of our needs taken care of? If there was a problem, who dealt with the problem? The mother did. This womb was our world, and we were wrapped in care and in love. And we offered nothing but grief to the one holding us. The mother is caused pain by this child. She almost dies giving birth to this child. There is no other scenario in human existence where someone who almost kills you gets all of your love. You should be at least mad at the baby. You know, it just almost killed me. You know how much I bled for you? You know? At least be mad at the kid, but the mother sees him and does what? Oh, my baby. It was worth it. This baby, even when he's inside, the mother is stretching, he's pulling at her ribs, he's kicking, and all kinds of things. He's making her throw up. Everything tastes like paper. You know? She can't go to the bathroom easily. She can't sleep. This side, the back hurt. That side, the ribs hurt. He's constantly in pain. And yet, all she has for the child is love. Actually, one of the core meanings of rahmah is someone who wraps you in his care motivated by what emotion, by what sentiment? Someone who surrounds you in their care because of love. And no one does that more than Allah. He surrounds us in His care out of His love. That's Ar-Rahman. Now if you knew who that is, then you wouldn't be talking about Allah a certain way. You wouldn't be talking about Allah. That's because you cannot compare creation to Allah. What your mother did for you in your belly cannot even be compared to what Allah is doing for you all the time. You can't even compare the two. That's who Allah is to us. Ar-Rahman. So that's the first remedy in the Qur'an, the names of Allah, and of them Ar-Rahman. The one we invoke all the time, the one we call on all the time. The second example that I want to share with you, wallahi, this is one of the most powerful examples of dealing with this subject in the entire Qur'an. Musa alayhi salam helped his people escape Egypt. You know that, right? How are you guys doing on attention span? You guys okay? You guys alright? Okay. Alright. If you're not doing okay, just continue sleeping, that's fine. Alright. So, Musa alayhi salam just helped, by Allah's permission, his nation escape Egypt. These people have been in slavery for quite some time. Slavery a happy time or a sad time? Sad time. What adds to that sadness is that the people that are walking across the body of water have living memory of babies being slaughtered in front of their eyes, their own. Their own children not just dying, being murdered. Is that a memory that just disappears? No. There is, even though they have escaped the clutches of Fir'aun, these people have lived a life of indescribable sadness. It's not just the loss of a child, it's the loss of thousands of children in front of the eyes of the parents, at the hands of merciless soldiers. This was a policy of Egypt. So you have a bunch of grieving parents that are escaping Egypt. A bunch of grieving parents. And Musa alayhi salam has helped them escape. Now they're on the other side. Has the sadness disappeared? No. Now Musa alayhi salam is going to give them a khutbah. Now you would think in this khutbah he's going to tell them to be patient. Because when someone is sad, what do we usually tell them? Be patient. Nobody ever tells you how. Everybody says be patient. Patience is a goal. There's no how to patience. You get there. You can't just say, oh, be patient, okay. Patient, got it. You can't do that. Still not coming, still not coming. You have to do certain other things that get you to patience. Patience is not something you can just do. It's an acquired power. It's an acquired power. It's not something that's innate inside of us. It has to be nurtured, built. So the question in this khutbah, what I feel, is that Allah Azza wa Jalla gave us the key to nurture patience. As a matter of fact, they're out in the middle of the desert, they don't have food supplies, and there's the sadness and trauma of that terrible history that they've lived. And yet Allah Azza wa Jalla, through the mouth of Musa alayhi salam, has them listen to this khutbah. وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. Your master said if you could just be grateful even a little bit, he would absolutely guarantee, he says, I guarantee I will increase for you. I will give you more and more and more and more and more. What did he bring up? What things should you do? Be patient? No, be what? Be grateful. How are you telling a people that live nothing but misery? They've lived nothing but misery. And you're getting up on the minbar and you're telling them you need to be what? Grateful. You need to be grateful. This is the key remedy to sadness. The change of thought. Instead of thinking about patience, because patience means you're thinking about the trouble you had and now you're being patient over it. The messenger, Musa alayhi salam, changed the mindset of the entire people. He's saying, don't think about the sad things that have happened in your life. You need to focus on the good things that have happened in your life. And when you focus on the good things that have happened in your life, who will you give credit to? Allah Azza wa Jal, and that will make you grateful. And when you become grateful, what becomes easy? Patience becomes easy. When gratitude is not there, patience is impossible. Why do our ulama call sabr and shukr two wings of a bird? Bird can't fly with one wing. Why do they call it that? There's a reason. Because without gratitude, these people can't move on with their life. And what a beautiful thing. Allah Azza wa Jalla said in that ayah, if you were just to be grateful, I promise, I swear to it. And if ana is used, neko. And the strongest form of the verb is used. And Allah normally does not use I in the Qur'an. That's even more rare than nahnu. It's the rarest form. But He says to them, if you could even show me 1 ounce of gratitude, al-madi, la in shakartum, even if you did that, then I guarantee over and over again, I will increase you. Now the question arises, when you say to somebody, hey, I want to increase you, does that make any sense to you? What do you mean? You want to increase me in terms of weight, knowledge, wisdom, patience, crime? What do you want to increase me in? Money? I'm interested in that one. You know? Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the ayah, through this khutbah of Musa alayhi salam, Allah says, if you were only to be grateful, even the least bit, I will absolutely increase all of you. The question He didn't answer is, in what? زاد يزيد هذا الفعل يحتاج إلى تمييز. This verb needs a distinction. Like we say, ربي زدني what? علما, not وزنا. Ya Allah, increase me in weight. No. علما, knowledge. Increase me in knowledge. In this ayah, Allah promises, I will increase you. He doesn't say in what. He doesn't say in what. You know why? Because every one of you needs increase in some other thing. And He said, whatever you need, I will increase. I will not limit my increase to you. Some of you, I will increase you in children. Some of you, I'll increase you in patience. Some of you, I'll increase you in strength, in knowledge, in rizq, in provision, in happiness. You know, I'll increase you in whatever you need increase in. Because sadness is something is depleted, right? Something's missing. I'll increase it. I'll fill it up for you. You just have to be grateful. وَلَئِنْ كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. Subhanallah. And if you were to be ungrateful, Allah does not answer actually the conditional statements in Arabic. You know how in English you say if-then statements? If you do this, then this will happen. So if you're grateful, then I'll increase you, right? But if you're ungrateful, Allah didn't put the then. That's a mercy of Allah. If you're ungrateful, ... He didn't put it then. That's His mercy. That's actually, you can't be grateful for anything else, be grateful He didn't fulfill that. He just started a new sentence, إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. Didn't say فَإِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. وَلَوْ قَالْ فَإِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ لَكَانَ جَوَابَ الشَّرْطِ. If He said فَإِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ in that ayah, that would have been, you're going to get punished. Allah didn't put a fa there. Every letter in the Qur'an, wallahi, every letter is just incredible. Last remedy. And it's on the same note. And I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible. I told you one of the most traumatic experiences emotionally in the Prophet's life, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is the loss of a beloved son. What adds to the misery of this event is, of course, Abu Lahab and his wife. Just all of this is happening. And 2 surahs are revealed. Surah Al-Lahab, which probably all of you are familiar with. But interestingly, and more importantly, Surah Al-Kawthar. Surah Al-Kawthar is revealed. And Surah Al-Kawthar doesn't even address what the Prophet lost. And we all know what the Prophet lost, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's hard to stop thinking about it. It's hard, you know. And Allah Azza wa Jalla says, "Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar." We gave you Kawthar. We gave you Al-Kawthar. Here you are thinking about what you just lost, and Allah is changing your thoughts entirely and making you think about what Allah just gave you. This is the ultimate remedy of sadness. You just think to yourself, Allah has given me a lot. Allah is telling His Messenger, in the hardest of times, I have given you the ultimate abundance. What more could you possibly? Al-Kawthar, you can't have more mubalagha than that. Al-Kawthar. Fawwa'al, so one of the rarest forms of the Arabic language. Kawthar. You can't have more than that. Some say it's the Qur'an. I've given you the Qur'an. Why are you sad? What treasure, what could you possibly be missing in life once you have my book, my word? The Prophet has told Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Quran itself is the remedy for sadness. When Allah is speaking. When Allah is speaking to you and me. That is a remedy of sadness. What more can we ask for? And then Allah, and by the way, when you become grateful, what's the show of gratitude? The show of gratitude is salat. And what's a show of celebration? Slaughtering an animal, party, one house, sacrifice an animal. Don't even worry about your enemy. Your enemy, I'll deal with him. You just worry about praying and focus on the good I've given you. Just think about that. And your sadness will go away. The Muslims will have to learn these remedies from the Qur'an. These are not going to come to you. I can talk about this. But it's not going to stick with you. What will stick with you is your relationship with the Qur'an. And when Allah removes your sadness from the Qur'an, when you personally become you have an emotional attachment to this word, to the word of Allah. When that happens for you, you will not be overwhelmed by sadness. Sadness will come and Allah will take it away. Then it will come and Allah will take it away again. And it will come and Allah will take it away again. It's not like when Allah said to the Prophet ﷺ, "Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar," he never experienced sadness again. He did, but Allah kept taking it away and taking it away and taking it away. So the Qur'an itself is a remedy. And if you have a distant relationship with the Qur'an, I don't know, then maybe some pills. Try what the people who don't believe in Allah, the people of ya'is, the people of hopelessness, people that don't have any hope. Those people can resort to any measure they want to get rid of their sadness. You know what people do to get rid of their sadness nowadays? They play video games. That's what they do. They shoot drugs. They smoke weed. They take hallucinogens. They drink. They go to clubs. So they can listen to brain-numbing music all night, so they don't have to actually think about how miserable their life is. Even if they're going to throw up the entire next day, it doesn't matter, because at least now they don't have to deal with their sadness. Their sadness is eating away at them. It's eating away at them. And Allah Azza wa Jal gave us a solution for all the forms of sadness in His book. If we just asked Allah for it, if we just did, we'd be a happy people.
تهاني الحب تسبقنا إليها وتنثور وردانا من مقالتيها يرفرف سعدنا في كل درب فيبتهج السهل الطافي عليها.